The market sells off as expected Friday, making new lows before the bulls step in and rip it higher at the close to close the market green. And we make 135% gains on the day. This is Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so as expected on Friday, the market sold off down to new lows for most of the day. Then the bulls stepped in toward the end of the day and rallied the market hard to close it back in the green. They've continued that rally into Sunday night, and now we have to ask ourselves, are the bulls for real, or is this another fake out? I'll get into that in just 1 second, but first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the SP 500 and the NASDAQ. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. All right, guys, if you are not in my trading room, you're absolutely missing out. We had an awesome day Friday, so much fun. We closed 135% winner. Everybody made money, and we went off to an awesome weekend. So if you'd like to join that room, I'll tell you how later. But for now, let's jump into the charts and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 5-minute futures chart for the S&P 500. As you can see, we got the big sell-off here down on Friday till they got it down to 38.07. And from there, the bulls rallied hard and what is starting to look impulsive, but not all the way there yet, okay? So it's pretty cut and dry moving forward here. It's going to be pretty straightforward on both charts, so it's going to be a quick video. But essentially, here's what we got. They have a 1, 2, and it looks like a wave 3 heading higher, or we can count this as an ABC, but a wave 3 heading higher here. And they hit the selling area, and it looks like it's now falling back down out of that selling area. So what needs to happen here is they need to pull back and hold this pivot, all right? And the pivot comes in at 38.98 to 38.84. If they can pull back and hold this pivot, okay, and this is assuming they do pull all the way back. They can still push this higher, all right? I don't want you to think we have to do this on this pullback that you're seeing right here, but they need to come back and test the pivot. And as this moves higher, if it does, before it tests the pivot moves up as well. Okay, so the concept is you get your waves 1 and 2 in place, and then you get 1 and 2 of 3, okay? And then 3 of 3 breaks up through the pivot and then needs to come back down in wave 4 of 3 to test the pivot. And if that pivot holds and we make another high, we complete wave 3. So what we're looking for now is the pullback in wave 4 of 3, then the pullback up to complete wave, or the push up to complete wave 3, then a pullback in wave 4 that will test a little higher but near the pivot again, and then we would look for wave 5 up, okay, to complete the entire impulsive cycle. So most of the time, these things have failed in the wave 3 phase where it gets up to the top of wave 3 and then fails to hold the pivot. So that's going to be the key. Can they hold this pivot? All right, if they pull back and hold the pivot and make another high, that's a great first step. Then they need to pull back one more time and make another high, and then we'll have 5 waves up that looks pretty decent. So again, the pivot comes in at 38.98 to 38.84. If they break down below 38.84, okay, then it becomes more likely that we will come back down and test these lows and probably make a new low. And in that case, we would view this as, so as I have it counted now, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 was Friday's high, and then 5 was Friday's low. But if this fails, okay, then this would just shift to where this 3 here, okay, would move down to where this 5 is, this 4 would move over to the top, and then 5 would be down in that 3750 to 3700 area. So the bulls still have a lot to prove to make this an impulsive move higher and call this the bottom. So again, just to quickly recap, what we're looking for is this pullback to hold above 38.84, make a new high, another pullback to hold above the pivot, and then make one more high, and that is a very bullish setup for us. But if they do come back and break this low, then it becomes much more likely that we move down, and this 5 here comes down to that 3750 region, this 3 moves over to this low, and this 4 moves over to this high. Now, I will say that they pushed it right up to the brink here of wave 4, so the 50% retrace is 39.44 of the move down for the bigger wave 4, and they pushed it all the way up to the brink. And when the 50% breaks, it becomes much less likely for this to follow through back to the downside to make a new low, and becomes more likely to start a structure higher. Okay, so that's what we're looking at on the S&P 500. Over on the NASDAQ, okay, they also got the sell-off on Friday, pushed it up into the selling area and are selling out of it again, back down towards the pivot. And they basically have the exact same rules and setup as the ES. And their targets for their pivot are 11,834, to 11,779. So below that 11,779 level should be a warning that this was a fake out and will probably be coming down to make another new low here. However, if they come down and hold the pivot, make a high over this high that went into the selling area right here over this first high. So hold the pivot, make a high, hold the pivot, make another high. Then we get the 5-wave structure on the NASDAQ as well. And we have what could be the start of the bullish rally we've been looking for. But if they do break below that 11,779, then we should be looking for another low down here before they kind of start the rally higher. Guys, if you like the information that I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, you need to check out investwithjacob.com, okay? There's a link down in the description. Go ahead and click that link. It will take you right over to the webpage. Once you get over there, check out our membership plans area. We have 2 incredible plans, and they both come with a 7-day free trial because I want you to get in there, make sure you love it, make sure it's for you, and that you become part of our trading family before you ever spend a penny. Think about this, guys. The guys who got in last week on their free trial closed enough winners to have paid for their subscription for a year, and they never had to come out of pocket at all because they were still on their free trial. So get in there and check it out. In our first room, the Invest with Jacob room, okay, you get all of my real-time market updates, all of my buy and sell alerts, as well as all of your Elliott Wave questions answered. We trade the SPY and the QQQ, and we swing trade, which means our trades last anywhere from a few days to a few months, and we don't trade quite as often as a day trading room does. However, if you are looking for day trading as well as individual stocks, you need to check out PT's Throne Room. In there, you get everything you get in the Invest with Jacob room, as well as day trading, individual stocks, and PT's reduced risk binary method. There's one of them things you kind of have to see to believe and understand how it works and how powerful it is and how well it beats the market. And that's why we give you that 7-day free trial so you can come in and check it out on your own. He also started a challenge account where he put $4,000 into an account and trades mini ES futures, showing you how to do disciplined trading to build a small account into a big retirement or savings account. He's averaging 3 to 4% gains per week in there and is absolutely killing it. Guys, we would love to have you in there so we can all make some money together. All right, key takeaways for today. It's pretty cut and dry. The bulls need to hold the pivot. The bears need to break the pivot. If they're going to pull back and test this pivot directly here, the pivot right now stands at 38.84 to 38.98. However, these numbers will change if they make a new high over here before they test the pivot. So in other words, on this move down, if they stop right where they're at and go make a new high, we're still looking for them to come test the pivot. Okay? So they need to hold the pivot. And if they can do that, make a high, come back and test it one more time and make another high, then the bulls could be in control of this market and we could see the reversal we've been looking for. However, if the pivot breaks and they break below 38.84 as it stands right now, we would be looking lower into that 37.50 region. Over on the NASDAQ, same type of setup. Bulls need to hold the pivot, which right now comes in at 11,834 to 11,779. If they can hold the pivot and make a new high, then hold the pivot one more time and make one more new high. That would look like a strong 5-wave structure for the bulls where they could be in control of the market and starting this reversal. However, if we break below 11,779, then we look lower to a new low first. All right, guys, that is the market update for today. I will talk to you tomorrow.